If you could only be a gamer or a collector, what would you pick? And you can only choose one.
Oh, shoot. This is... Okay, go ahead, Ricky. What was your question?
Can I play the games as a collector or no? It's just straight up
gamer or collector. You can't have nothing in your garage, man.
So let's set this up. This is rough. Gamer or collector. So this comes down to two real questions. Playing video games or the thrill of the hunt? This is really what this comes down to, right? A gamer, you get to play those games, and we're talking current right now. You're given the choice. You never get to play a video game again, or you never get to hunt again.
I'm going to say I'm a gamer.
You would pick gamer.
Oh, 100%. I think I would just have too much connection to the fact that like I went through college playing games with like all my baseball friends. I would be able to connect with my friends
like
back home. Yeah, when I had friends. And then like you would just be able to play online, communicate with people, and just be able to like make connections. Like even when I was in 8th grade, I played Gears of War. I like have lifelong buddies from it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I would say gamer all the way.
I have to say, I did think about this one when you told me this, Curtis. This is an important one. I would say for me, I'm going to go collector. And for me, and I've said this before, a lot of people at the swap meet recently have come to me like, hey, what are you collecting since the shed flooded, this and that? Like, what is your collecting? And I say, I'm always collecting fun. Because it's all about me collecting the experiences with you guys, like out at the swap meets. Going to the swap meet, waking up at 5 a.m. By the way, the other day I realized that I'd never wake up outside of the 5 o'clock hour every day of my life. Never outside of the 5 o'clock hour. Weird. I never thought about that until the other day.
Time do you go to bed?
Like 5 o'clock hour. No, pretty late, like midnight.
Yeah, he goes to bed at 12 for
really?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a 5-hour guy.
Yeah. But with that said, I am obsessed with the hunt. I think of like, a big example would be, Mike Wolf and stuff. Like, when I play video games, for sure, I cannot deny it. I get emotional. It changes my mood. It can get me through dark times. It can help me. It can make me, excited. It can do a ton of things for me. It's given me some of the greatest memories and nostalgia of my life, which is now responsible for this and the show and owning a convention. But I think in current day, I still can get most of those senses of thrills, and I can build the nostalgia for in the future for what we've done together and all that from collecting. When I see American Pickers and I'm watching it, every time without a doubt, I think like verbally, like that is the greatest experience to me. Just going around, meeting new people, and just you never know what's going to happen. This doesn't take away from the gaming thing, right? Like
I think it all coincides with one another. Like for me, I mean, like when you explain it that way, of course, it's like it's going to sway me towards. But I'm going to say like in most of my downtime, I'd probably be a gamer.
Yeah,
100%.
I get that.
How about you boys, man?
Ricky,
I was going to say games, but then he kind of convinced me.
No, don't let me convince you. What were you going to say? Don't let me convince you out.
So you brought up a great point, but I always think of it like I also like play games with my kids, so I'm like, do I have to give that up too? So
yeah,
I guess
would.
I would have to say gamer then, because I don't want to give that up. That's like some of the best times I have. Wii U with them is my favorite thing to do with them.
So you pick gamer, huh?
I mean, I can see it, why, because I mean, like your kids, like you have Brixton, who he's more on the gamer side of it, but like they don't like games, but his kids play. Like
True,
Maverick
they really do play.
Maverick calls me over, he's like, "Hey, you want to play Mario like with me?" I'm like, "All right, dude, I'll come over here."
That is true. I didn't think about that. My kids don't really care about games that much, so that makes sense. That is a big factor into this.
I bet you this
It's
is
a
gonna
huge
be
factor for me.
I see Chris right now looking like deep
most
into his soul.
conflicted.
I am, yeah, because I had to really reflect on this. Like, this is a really, really tough one because for all the reasons you...
I was going to say, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it saying.
Well, I was honestly like flipping back and forth. I mean, the collecting part and like actually trying to envision like what my life would be like without one or the other.
Wow.
And like years ago, it was always gaming. I mean, growing up as a kid and of course, gaming was huge, and I wasn't that big of a collector until probably more recently. I became more of a collector. If it weren't for my son, I think I would probably stick with the collecting like you. But for me, one of my favorite things to do, possibly of all times, is just sitting and playing games with my son. Like we're playing Zelda Kingdom of Tears of the Kingdom.
Kingdom of Tears.
Wow.
Oh, he did it again.
I still gonna mix up too. I'm like,
I just say whatever comes to mind first.
I feel like I'm gonna get some serious hate in the comments.
But
No, I think that you
I
should
would
play
not want to give that up. Like when we're sitting playing and he's like, "Hey, Dad, let's play Zelda tonight." Like I would give up all the collecting to do that.
Got it.
For sure.
But you could collect with your kids. It just depends if they're into it.
I tried to get him to come to the flea market last Saturday. I'm like, dude, I'm waking you up at 5. You're coming. He was like, dude, I don't want to go. And I was like, come on. I'm trying. I want to get him to come, but he doesn't like the collecting.
You know what I do a lot at the swap meet when I'm collecting? Use Pricecharting.com.
Yeah, that was a perfect segue.
We have many sponsored segments with Price Charting, and we got to say that we're thankful for them. We've talked about it. We have multiple things to say about them. They're a great site. Great app coming, which we'll talk about later. Great app as well to look up the prices of games and what market goes first for comics and cards and a whole bunch of things. Chris, what is it this time that we want to tell the people about, which is great for the show, for real? Don't skip it.
A subscription service that they have. So in addition to going on there, you can, of course, go on and look up the values. They offer many, many other tools as a collector. Some of them you do have to pay for. They do have a monthly subscription service that's $6 a month. They also have one for retailers, which I believe is $50 a month. And I know that because I pay for that, actually. I am a subscriber to the retail.
And you've
for my
been
stores.
a subscriber.
All 5
Yes.
stores, right?
All 5 stores, yeah.
wow.
So
And I think that's important for them to know too. Again, yes, this is sponsored by them and we're going to be working with them, but this is integrated into our day-to-day life.
Oh,
This
no, we
isn't-
all use it for sure.
This is not like this is a, better check out this anime game that we really love and we've never played in our lives, but this is ecosystem for us.
yeah, and so for the $6 a month, I'll read off some of these. You can do they have a lot value calculator,
Okay.
so you can track the value of your items going up or down with price change icons, which that's pretty cool.
Super
if
cool.
You can add them all, and then you can see if they've gone up or down. You have unlimited collection folders, so you could organize into Zombies Ate My Neighbors collection folder.
There's
You
one
have all
person on earth that does that. That's me. What a fail. Sorry, Price Charting. The worst way Chris could have sold that. I'm just kidding.
They have an eBay. This is a cool one. They have an eBay deal scanner, which lets you know if items are listed on eBay below market price.
I like that.
You can paste the list of items in to calculate your value, the value of the total item. So this is pretty good, I would think, if you were going to buy a lot of games or something. Somebody said, "Oh, I have 100 games." You could take that Excel spreadsheet, copy and paste it into Video Game Price Charts to give you all the values.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and there was a bunch of other stuff you can do too. So
Good. Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you too, honestly, for Price Charting for this, for being a part of the system. Thank you for them. You'll see us on their app.
Soon.
and their
Can't
website
wait.
and
It's
all
gonna be
that.
great, you
We're
know?
excited. Check out the link in the description. Thank you, Curtis.
One question I have for you guys is, what do you say to those people when they say that you're too old to be a gamer or too old to be a collector?
I feel like the gamer one is okay. So this is I'll be real right now. So and I was telling this to the boys the other night when we were just got done doing Whatnot. It's interesting because I'm very into like success podcasts. I listen to a lot of like podcasts on like finances and how to thrive in the world and make money and this and that. Yeah. And I was telling them, it's funny because we are all gamers. Like we play games all the time. I'm
Dude.
on Super Nintendo all the time. One of my favorite things to play all the time. But it's interesting that you say that because all of these wealth podcasts, they have nothing to do with gaming. Nothing.
Zero.
And sometimes one of the first things they say, stop being little kids and stop playing video games. It's one of the first things they always say, and then they keep going. And I'm like, dang, like I know I'm successful. I do very well financially. Thank you, Lord. Literally, thank you, Lord, for all this. But I'm like, I play games, right? Like that's part. And every time I'm always like, it almost like makes me like not like their podcast as much because I'm like, oh man, like.
Yeah.
I do strive to be successful. We are successful, but it's like at the same time, like, man, that's part of my life, though. It feels like a little like kick in the groin.
Yeah, I think there was like a podcast, and I follow Joe Rogan like religiously, and he made that comment as well. I was like, stop playing video games.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear it from him.
And I'm like, man, it doesn't make me think of any less, but that's just his opinion, right?
True.
Like for me, like I got like, I don't know, like 2,000 hours on Apex Legends. You know what I mean? It's
Now,
like,
Curtis, that's not something to brag about.
it's not something to brag about.
any other game that I've been like, nice.
Bro, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I spend a lot of my time. I think it's a big time for me to stress, like a stress reliever, and it's also a big thing for other people. It's like,
Yeah.
you come in and you just want to like game. I mean, it's like you just worry about nothing else. It's just you and the game.
Now, this is just me asking you. Do you think that is a 2,000 hours that you're glad you spent, or do you think you could have used that too? This is not me hating on games. It's me just literally opening conversation. Would have been better used somewhere else.
For me, I feel like I do have in some facets ADHD in some facet because like I can never finish anything. So for me to sit down and just game, dude, I'm the biggest procrastinator. I will do 10 things at once and only get half of it done.
So I think it's a huge reliever for ADHD. And like for me, I kind of feel like I have that too. Like sometimes I can't focus and my mind is just racing like so fast. And if it's a stress reliever, but it's also like a focus, get your mind off of things.
Totally.
Like if I'm really stressed out and just not in the right headspace, if I sit down and play video games, my mind instantly like switches off of that. So in line with all the work we do and talking about work and stuff like that, you do need outlets, I feel like, to as stress relievers. Some people go to the gym, you might do meditation,
Running is
you might
my
run.
stress reliever. Yep.
Yeah, and gym for me is meditation, stress reliever too.
Working on those legs.
I'm trying. I'm trying really hard.
Did we tell the podcast that we do that, or do we never
Probably not.
So we send videos. Chris will send I'll send videos of myself like curling and be like, must look like Chris, and then he'll send videos of him doing leg presses like, must get legs like Riff, and it's a funny thing.
I have a long way to go.
I told you that my wife saw one of those and she's
Did
like,
she really?
what is happening?
What is this?
She saw it.
Are you cheating on me?
Yeah, are you? No, yeah.
So, Chris, did you end up deciding like you'd be a gamer more than you'd be a collector?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
And I
with
always-
like the store and all that, like you, and all that stuff that comes in.
Well, I wouldn't even consider that collecting. That's more like business stuff. But
yeah.
I collect, shirts and games and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff too. But but gaming for me, and I had to look back at like why I was always have been a gamer and drawn to video games.
Yeah.
And I think it is for that reason of like stress and anxiety. Like when I needed to get away from stuff, that has been my go-to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other successful people do that too. I saw a video a long time ago of Jonathan Davis from Korn, the lead
Yes.
singer. He's a huge gamer. And they interview him about why he's a gamer. And think of that stressful career. You're a lead singer of a band.
Because of
And-
Scott Squatch.
Scott Squatch, yep.
Is he in a band?
No, he's our tour roadie guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's been
That's
with us for
right.
years.
But he's a huge gamer, and he talks about the same thing. Like, he thinks he has ADHD, and this is like his way to get his mind kind of right.
Yeah.
I feel like it gives me a little bit more balance, and to be honest, like I could be on that. Like I'll do 5 different things at once. Like I'll be listening to music, video gaming, and then also have like the podcast while I'm doing this, like uploading. Yeah. I'm doing 10 things at once, and it's like there's only one thing that I can really hone in on, and it's video games. And it's weirdly enough, like I could like you could give me a video game, I will spend hours on that thing trying to get it done.
I can't play as much as I used to, for sure. Like I definitely built my love in the 80s and 90s, like that deep rooted love. And I think, say what you will, I think the Super Nintendo generation was the greatest generation in video games. So it's funny because even when I'm gaming, I'm just going back to that stuff anyway, right? Like if you ask me this question, it's like current games or collecting, I wouldn't even blink. Current games, throw them out the window for me. I know there's good ones. I know there is me hating. I know the comments are going to be like, hey, what about this game? I get it. Trust me, I do. But I don't know. My brain's like, I'll play the retro ones to get my nostalgia, my heartfelt, my good time, my running guns, all that. And then I'll go running.
I was really surprised to see Ricky's answer because I didn't think he'd pick gaming. Because
Ricky, you're
he's
leaving
the
me at the
biggest
swap meet,
collector.
bro?
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Alone.
You walk out of here.
I get to sleep in.
Benny, you back there? Come over here. You're taking his place. It's about to get real white in
That's another
here.
thing. Sleeping in on Saturday and Sunday would be nice.
Oh, dude, not
my
me.
Gosh.
When my alarm goes at 5 and I go to swap meet, I'm like, beep, beep, beep. Yo! Like, it's time. Let's go.
There's some weekends when I'm not there where I'm like, I just need a break. I need to just recuperate and rest. And
Not me. If I'm not there, I'm like, oh God, Ricky, what are we missing?
It's a stress reliever too, though. When you go out there,
Yeah.
It's
For
so
sure.
fun.
Like I said, that all coincides with one another. It's just like you would have to choose one. That would
Yeah.
be the one.
That's
So-
scary. But what would you choose? Leave it in the comments below.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
wait, before you end.
What?
Also, thank you for the audio listeners out there who
Oh,
can't leave a
yes.
comment or leave a comment because I think by the time this comes out, I don't know what we'll be at, but aren't we like coming up on 100,000 downloads?
Yes.
On like
in
God,
literally
this is
less than
insane.
4 months, and which is insane to us.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
And thank you guys for all the positive reviews. I read them all, and it's just like we take the feedback and we try to just keep going with it. Like it's amazing.
I will say that is a massive number for being downloads, not listens, not that. I mean, that's massive and overwhelmingly bigger than I expected.
And we're trying to get our podcast out every 2 weeks on the full audio length.
Yes.
So every audio listener out there, please look, or even the video listeners, it'll be linked to the description of every YouTube video, and you can find out on all outlets. Even our social medias will be linked. So
Yes, sir. And Ricky's
Alrighty.
OnlyFans.
And Ricky's OnlyFans.
I'm a subscriber to